go. And so the Cowboys are building momentum as we go. And before we dive into the bigger picture, let's stay little. Dan, I know you liked some things you saw from Dak, particularly in the pocket yesterday.
Yeah, the consistency of his pocket movement, manipulation has been really good this year. And a lot of us have talked about it. And it's, Greeny, if I go back to last year and remember some of the stuff that I had issues with, it was Dak wasn't seeing the field well and he wasn't moving the pocket. And it's not the case this year, and you have to give him credit for it. He's not only made some plays with his legs, but he's kept plays alive. And I think that's a really good sign for who he is moving forward. I think the two things that I walk away from this specific game are obviously the Dak Prescott pocket movement that I just talked about. And I do think the Cowboys have to be honest. The Panthers got after them a little bit in their run game. There were 4 or 5 chunk runs that Carolina had yesterday. So when we're talking about Dallas, really good football team, but they're going to have to beat Philly. They're going to have to beat San Francisco. Both those teams are chunk run game centric. So good win. It was 17-10 with 10 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. And 4 drives for Dallas were kept alive by Panthers penalties. So both things can be true at the same time.
I get it. You want to, every time you go out there on Sundays, you want a perfect game. You're not going to get it. If there's one thing that you can give up as a defense in modern football, it's going to be the running attack. A lot of the better defenses in football struggle against stopping the run. I wish they could fix it. I'm sure they wish they could fix it. But when you have 4 to 5 really good pass rushers, sometimes you're going to give up 8 or 12 on a running game. I think they live with that, especially when they have a quarterback who can put up numbers.
Maybe the point that Dan is making here is that the teams they're going to have to beat to get where they want to go are teams that look like they could exploit that. Include the Lions in that conversation, maybe. Certainly the Eagles and the 49ers, who have been their kryptonite.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I can't argue against the 49ers. They play well against the Eagles. They're always competitive against the Eagles, no matter whether it's running or not. The 49ers is a question mark that it's going to change, and the question is, are the 49ers going to be fully healthy, and are they going to be at their best form when they play?
I feel like the Cowboys are best in a high-scoring game, right?
Yeah.
They want a game where there's a lot going on, because that's when their defense makes big plays. Yeah. That's what they do. Their defense doesn't necessarily shut you down. Carolina's hardly even worth talking about. But generally speaking, they're going to make a big play. They're going to get a pick six. They're going to get a big sack, strip, fumble, that kind of thing. Are they good enough this year to beat the big boys in the NFC?
I think they are. Now, look, San Francisco might be an issue because they match up so well against Dallas. However, anybody else, man, I'm taking them. And I'm going to tell you why. 61% win rate, pass rush win rate. That's what the Cowboys are. That's the best over the last 5 years. That includes that great pass rush that Philly had last year.
Yeah.
This team is rushing the passer at a better pass win rate than they did. So to me, once you get a lead, this team gets a lead, they can put you out. They can definitely knock you out. This offense, to me, is way more efficient the last several weeks than they've been all season. So to me, they're hitting their stride. Look, Carolina never looked great, right? Yeah. Carolina's actually got a really good defense, much better than Philadelphia's defense. Yep. All right, and right there with maybe not San Francisco, but Detroit certainly. Yeah. Uh-huh. So to me, I think that this team is going to be, at the end of the day, they're going to be right there.
Again, they've got Washington Thursday, the traditional Thanksgiving. Then they play the following Thursday against Seattle. And then they get the big showdown at home against Philly. They'll have a mini bye going into that game. That will be a magnificent one to watch. Then speaking of maintaining your confidence, how much did you love this? C.J. Stroud had a big day, but he also threw 3 picks yesterday.
My favorite.
Threw a couple of touchdowns, 3 for over 330 yards, but threw 3 picks, including 2 in the fourth quarter. His team won, and then listen to what he said.
Steph Curry don't ever stop shooting. I'm gonna keep letting it ride. You know, and I don't got no shame in my game. I definitely got to be smarter, but no confidence is taken away from me. I'm gonna keep shooting it. I'm gonna keep letting it fly, and that's what I think. That's what makes me great.
Danny, how about that mentality from the young star?
They can win a Super Bowl with this guy, and they can win a Super Bowl because of him. And for all the things that he has done this year that have been so impressive, I think that soundbite might be the most impressive of the season. To be a rookie and to know that you did something you haven't done all year, which is throw those interceptions and be like, yeah, that's not who I am, and it's not going to change me. And the only way that I'm going to go achieve the level that I'm capable of is if I have the right mindset. And I love the fact that he's a young rookie player playing for a defensive-minded head coach, and he's not flinching. And that's why I think on the field, he's great. I think the off-the-field mind that this young man has gives him a chance to be a Super Bowl winning quarterback.
Yeah, and he understands the way this game is played. And I think Danny made this point in the first hour is if you want to go deep, you're going to have to take these chances. And sometimes when you take those chances, you're going to have to pay the price for it. You can't be a perennial Super Bowl contender team without getting big chunk plays and being aggressive down the field. And he's already doing it, and he's going to shake these turnovers, and he's not going to be a problem.
You know what it reminds me of a little bit is Joe Burrow. Is the way he came in, he completely changed the culture of an organization, his confidence, the force of his personality. Burrow seems to have that undeniable swag. This kid seems to have it. The stories here feel similar to me.
It's even better, though, because Joe Burrow came in the second year, and also with superstar talent around him at receiver, he dropped into this team that we thought was going to be bad and just cooked.
But remember, the Bengals we thought were a team that Burrow should refuse to go to. I mean, let's not understate what he did there. Burrow is the example here. I think that there's something similar to it. Anyway, okay.